Well, howdy, folks. DaveMan here again, Rollman Revolution. Now, we have to talk about something very important. The United States currently is going through this internal restructuring. Now, if you don't know what that means, you have two groups. One side's going to win, and the other side is going to lose. And what you have to figure out for yourself is which side you're going to be on. Now, I know there is so much garbage out in the mainstream, and if you're a person who doesn't follow politics on a regular basis, it becomes very difficult to sieve through the nonsense to determine really what it is you should be paying attention to and what is just complete and utter garbage. Now, let me give you a hint. Majority of the stuff that continues to keep getting repeated and repeated and repeated and repeated and repeated over and over again by the mainstream, I can promise you, from years of watching this stuff and looking at this, it's all designed to pull you away from really what's kind of going on behind the scenes. Now, look, there has been no president in my entire lifetime that has ever been ridiculed and blocked and obstructed, and people have gone after to the levels they have with President Trump. The question every American should be asking themselves is why? You honestly think that this man is really the tyrant and rapist and all of the other friggin' adjectives that they put on him? I don't care what these court systems are, because you can tell right now, if anyone is really truly paying attention, can tell right now that the court systems are completely stacked against President Trump and the people for that matter. See, Americans don't really think. They think that, oh, it's only affecting Trump and they're only going after these people. You don't understand what Trump really represents. Trump is the first line and last line of defense for you, the American people. And if you do not have a person at the helm, a tip of the spear, that is looking out for you like we haven't for all of these decades, well, guess what? From JFK to where we are right now, you can see the decline of the American system over time. And that's what happens when you allow criminals to get away with what they've gotten away from. Think about this. You have people within our own government who planned a coup d'etat to take out a sitting president and did so successfully, then buried it, lied about it, and covered it up for decades and decades and decades. That rot should have been investigated and taken care of at the time. But of course, when you have all of these criminals in the key positions throughout your government, the only way to fix this is to get that shit out. And for a long, long time, America, you and I have all been sleeping. We've been dazzled by the hypnotists of these politicians promising everything and giving nothing. It's up to us to determine who we are as a country, where we're going as a country, what you want for your family, and what you want for my family. See, I've been saying on this channel for a very long time that we need to cut the divisions in this country. This crap about the boxes that you think you belong to, whether you're gay, lesbian, straight, black, white, tall, short, whatever box you have put yourself into. By putting yourself in these boxes, it's only set up by a means to divide you. And if you continue to keep thinking like that and thinking that your neighbor, just because they're not in the same box as you, doesn't think like you do, that's completely ridiculous. See, most of us agree upon the major issues. If we really sit down and hash it out, we agree upon it. But as you can see, there is this restructuring now going on in the country. And everybody is being pulled in every direction. But there are new faces that are coming on board because they're starting to realize that the things that the mainstream media has been saying for decades and decades and decades, it doesn't add up. Right now, you have Rachel Maddow going on, and MSNBC in particular, going on every single night, nonstop, saying that Trump is breaking the law, Trump is illegal, Trump is a tyrant, he is an oligarch. Trump is an oligarch. They are doing everything in their power to do exactly what France did to Miss Le Pen, and try to imprison this man for the rest of his life. Now, you have to ask yourself why. What specifically has President Trump done to the American people, for that matter, that would deserve him going to prison for the rest of his life? What is this whole coup d'etat happening within our own government that is working overtime to obstruct the processes and procedures that Donald Trump has laid out? There is a fear that's going on, and these people have nothing left to hold on to. They realize they're losing grips every single day with the connection they have to the American people. That's why you have AOC and Bernie Sanders going out to colleges. Now look, when you have to go to the bullpen, and that's the last two people you have to go to, you know you're desperate. Look, I speak to the young folks every day on the beaches where I live, and I try to go out of my way to try to meet them where they are in their life story, because they've been bamboozled for decades with this education system and, of course, all of the crap that you see on the TikToks and the Facebooks and all of this stuff. It's been suppressed for a very long time. So people, even at the young age, don't know where to go. But they recognize one thing. This system sucks. And where we've been headed for years and years makes no sense. They don't have a future, and they're starting to realize that. So finally you have a guy who's in there who's trying to actually turn the tides, this internal change-up that we're talking about, the restructuring. And you have this old school, old guard Republicans, old school Democrats, this communistic, socialistic, I don't even know what you want to call it, disgustingness that has infiltrated a lot of American government, but in particular the Democrat Party, and has been trying to pull America away from its Constitution and the working class people's inalienable rights for years. They're slowly trying to box you in even further and take more and more of your liberties away. And we've allowed it. The reason why Donald Trump is being ridiculed, beat up, dragged through the court system, his family, his financials, everything, is because they know he's the only threat that they have. And he's the only person thus far who has the intestinal fortitude and the will to do what needs to be done in order to take the country back and put it back into the hands of the people. Look, I am not one of these people who are trying to convince anyone of anything. I'm not telling you what to believe. I'm telling you what I know. From the years of looking at this, the years of living through this, and the only thing I have left to offer is what I've experienced. And I am trying to get to the young folks and to people who really just don't pay attention to any of this stuff. You're smarter than this, and they think you're stupid, and they're playing this game against you. The mainstream media, look, Rachel Maddow would not go on 5 nights a week. She was ready to retire, okay? But they're paying her big-time money to go and convince you that Donald Trump and this administration is an unlawful oligarch. And the only reason they're trying to do that is to divide the country more. They know that the Make America Great Again movement, which is a benefit for every American, threatens the hold of this elite and this deep state for decades. The hold and the stranglehold that they've had on the American people for decades, where we've been getting screwing over. And look, just ask yourself, just ask your neighbors, just look at your current life situation and ask yourself, has it gotten better over the years, or is it getting harder and harder and harder and harder? And if it's getting harder, why would you want to continue in that direction? But they keep telling you, we got it under control. We've got it under control. For decades, they've told you, yeah, we got it under control. Just vote me in and vote this guy in and vote this person in, and it'll all be better. But as you can see, shit has gotten worse, and it hasn't gotten any better. The only person who has ever made a stink in Washington, D.C. and has grabbed the attention that they have grabbed is President Trump, and there's a reason why. Because he's doing everything he said he was going to do. And he knows by doing these things, it's going to upset the apple cart for the elite that has been screwing this country over and the American working class over for decades. So I'm asking people, this is a restructuring. And if you don't learn what this restructuring process is all about, and you try to fight on the wrong side, and you are successful, well, then you enslave the entire country that you supposedly care about. See, you have to really pay attention to the issues now. You have to really look, stand back off the sideline for a minute and just kind of look at the game for what it is and see the players that are involved. See the people that are purposely going over the top to obstruct. Like, why would a judge obstruct trying to get illegal criminals out of the country? Now, I'm not saying, like, look, they couldn't make a mistake and send somebody out. That's going to happen. There are mistakes that are going to happen. But overall, Joe Biden let millions of unvetted illegal people, including criminals and insane people, into the country. They're in a neighborhood near you, and you're expecting the President of the United States not to do something about it? And then a judge is going to say, no, you can't do that. You can't protect your own country. You can't get these criminals out. I mean, it's almost mindless that we're even having this argument. But that's where we are. You have the Democrats that are using the court system like sugar in a gas tank. That's all they're doing. They know they don't have any leg to stand on. They know they have no Constitution to stand on, and they know they have no rights, because President Trump is doing everything he's empowered to do and what he should be doing. And they're in fear right now. And the reason why they're in fear is because they are losing control of everything that has been going on in that city. The status quo mentality that's been going on for decades, it's over. And if we, you and I, the American base that has put Trump into office, continue to keep fighting, there's nothing they can do to stop us. you will have a transformation. You will have a country you are proud of. But we have to get to the other side. We can't give up now. I'm fighting every single day. I lost my wife 2 years ago. 2 years ago to fentanyl. And we were both fighting every single day. This stuff is in a neighborhood near you. It's in a corner near you. All of this stuff is everywhere. And it's been allowed by the governments that have promised to protect you for decades. They didn't protect my wife. They didn't protect millions of other people who have died from this shit. You only have one person who's actually doing things. And that's President Trump. It's up to us to continue to keep supporting that man. I don't know which side of the sand you're on. I don't know what line of the sand you're on. But it's not about right and wrong in this issue anymore. It's about you and me doing what's right for America. I'm tired of this party crap. I'm a Democrat, I'm a Republican. If you keep talking like that, you don't know what you're talking about. Democrat and Republicans are archaic terms that mean nothing anymore. It's what the person does that matters. It's what you do that matters. That's what defines you as an individual, what you do with the things you say you have and what you know. This talk is cheap. The only person that's doing anything is Donald Trump, and that's called action. Wisdom through action. And it's just common sense, my friends. We're on the same team. This restructuring is going to happen. I just want you to be on the right side so that you and I can have this promise that should have been made years ago. I'm tired of working my ass off to have nothing, and I certainly hope you are too. We have to continue to keep fighting. I know it sucks. I know it seems like, oh, I've done all my part. I did my part. For the last 4 years, I struggled and pushed. It's not enough. The battle was won. The war isn't over. We still have tons of work to do, but it will be promised to the next generation that we leave this to. Look, my generation, Generation X, watched all of this stuff go from somewhat controllable to completely knucking futs over the last few decades. I am not willing to leave this place, this shit that has been left. I'm sorry. I'm going to leave it better than I received it, because that is what the responsibility of every human being is. To hand down things, to hand down truth to the next generation so they can make it better than the generation before them. We have a responsibility. President Trump is doing everything he can, and his team, which I know most of these people, not all of them personally, but I know many of them, and I know the work that they're doing. And President Trump selected by far probably one of the best teams you could ever hope for. I know people are frustrated. They want things to happen on their timetable. It's not going to work like that. This is going to take time. It's going to take the right approach, because the Democrats and this deep state is not willing to give up the power that they've held over this country since 1913, in my opinion. It's up to us. We decide the future. So it comes down to the actions we decide to do right now. It's up to us. I hope to see you on the battlefield. The restructuring is going to happen, and I want you to be on the right side of history. Talk with you soon, my friends. Take care. A lot of work to do. Peace.